And we arrive at the season 1 finale. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with Astrea's Broken Heart season 1 episode 10. Y'all, I really don't understand what this story is turning into. Like, apparently now our main character decided that we need to be questioning everything that MIKAEL is doing, like specifically MIKAEL. We keep on singling him out, saying that he actually, just like every other guy in that company, let's just say it how it is using us as bait in order to get to the beast. And I'm intrigued to know if we're gonna actually have a confirmation of that in the finale or not, but we will see. I would assume that I've done well in just going for the skepticism path when I actually decided to go with it. At first it seemed like it would be what I would do, but then it turned out that I'm much more the other category, but I decided to go with that one. Like, you can tell me how the choices differentiate from you guys if you should take the other option. But I decided to go with one, and with reputation, of course, I decided to go with that one too. So I have high reputation, so let's see if that actually helps me have a positive ending. And let's see. And if it gets really scary, close your eyes. Of course, you don't see it. When you don't feel it, when you don't see it, you can't hurt because of it. Episode 10, Light and Darkness. Goddamn, love this. This episode contains graphics of violence. Oh, nice. Simona stood on the threshold of the open door leading to the backyard. She felt a cool night breeze on her face. She gazed into the dense greenery of the garden and tried to decide whether to take a step forward or backward. I can go to my apartment right now. There will be nothing possessed, dangerous, strange, or frightening. There will be no innuendo, sarcastic comments, doubts, or forbidden desires. I mean, if we actually have arrived to the point where we have the feeling that we can't trust any of these bitches in this household, then I feel that it's the best if we actually leave. Because if they then desperately, all of them, not just one, as in the man that truly is like in love with us, and since I played them all, they would all be coming. But in general, if you have like something romantic with one of these boys, we're just using like this vision, then only that person would be desperately looking for you because they like you, they have feelings for you, and you suddenly being out of their lives, then having the feeling that you won't be back, they would get nervous because they want you back, as in they want you in their lives. Here in this category, then, where all of a sudden every single one of these men are then looking for you desperately, then that means because they truly were using us as bait. That's how you actually verify things. In this particular circumstance, we should just like, I don't know, go to Malik, actually have this man help us, like, protect us. No one knows where he is, so no one knows where we are. There will be no anything. A bird chirped loudly in the garden, sounding almost desperate. It hopped onto a bare branch and studied Simona intently. Does it want something from me? The visitor chirped again. It turned its tiny head as if searching for someone, but the garden only responded with silence. Where is your flock? Why are you here alone? It's a bitch just like us. We're a strong bitch. The bird tilted its head as if asking her the same thing. I used to have a flock, but even here I don't feel as lonely as I did there. Her decision came naturally. Simona indulged a childish and fulfilled dream of finding a home and stepped back into the house. A wolf came out of the bushes, scaring away the bird that had saddened her. He sat a little further away from the door. Oh, not the question mark. Oh, Malbonte. It's so awful. If I tell him to bring back Harry the runaway, will he do it? Let's not tempt fate, okay? Because we allowed Harry to go, like, we can't take him back. I mean, we could, but no. If I actually tell someone that they can leave, then they can. Because I believe in free will. Like, if you want to stay, you will stay out of your own free accord because you feel it's the right thing to do. But I'm not going to force your hand, nor am I going to force you to do something you don't want to. Because I feel like it will alter your decision in the end if you then actually get the opportunity to choose for yourself. You will always choose to go against me. And if I want a real companionship here, there needs to be real trust, and that also means allowing the other person to make decisions for themselves. So I wouldn't want to actually drag this man back. We allowed him to leave, we warned him. Let's see what he does with it. Somehow confident that he would. Simona bit her lip. I always wanted a cat, but I was afraid I wouldn't have time to take care of it. And now I have a pet and I don't even know what to expect from him. The parallel between the wolf and the residents of the house drew itself. A nervous nausea rose in her throat. Mabonte came closer, sat down, and waited for affection. Oh, he acts like a house dog, but he's not a dog. And he could tear me apart like Otto if I do something wrong. I mean, if he actually would view you as a bitch, then he wouldn't want affection from you either. As if sensing her mood, the wolf flattened his eyes. Oh, look at him. You hurt his feelings. Sorry, Malponte. Yeah, you hurt his feelings. Someone watched the hunched beast leave and slumped her own shoulders guiltily. Everything that's happening here is very difficult for me. Why would it be easy, the fuck? What they're trying to drag me into borders on the absurd. And it would make completely sense, where we're like, what the fuck is even going on? What the fuck are they doing? Like, I would be questioning things, and not because I'm easily manipulated, but just because I can see the signs, and I've been through so much shit during the course of my lives. Like, I feel like as long as we don't have, like, actually been through an awful much together that can exclude any other way, there will be always this thought in my head that you could actually come ahead and betray me, you know? Simona fought the immature flight desire to just go to her bedroom. She peeked into MIKAEL's office. Inside the room, the meeting of the Astrea employees continued without her or the rescued man. Let them do what they feel like. The lively conversation stopped. Simona felt surprised looks on her. From the doorway, she briefly and simply explained the reason for intrusion. Harry left. Harry. The confusion on CASSIEL's face made a wave of irritation wash over her. Simona, where did he go? I don't know. Probably to his competition. Your honest speech didn't convince him. Maybe you should have come up with something more interesting. Like offering him a job as my bodyguard or pretending that you were really happy to have him here. The thought had slipped out filled the room with a ringing silence. Period. You suck. You suck. Literally. That's not even a question here. I love that she's actually, like, connecting the fact that they weren't capable to actually convince this man to actually remain here because he's in danger. And mixed this with her current inner turmoil. That she's being dismissive of their intentions towards her, too. The thought that slipped out filled the room with a ringing silence. Simona looked at MIKAEL expectantly, but received no answer to her barb. Guess I'll try to find him. I don't think he went far. You are not gonna drag him back, bitch. And you don't have to go easy on him this time. The fuck? The cold detachment with which MIKAEL gave the order made Simona unconsciously back away. CASSIEL ignored the evaluator's reaction. He rushed past, hastening to carry out his orders. Now, we're leaving. We are leaving because this is ridiculous. You need to allow someone to make their own decisions. They are actually subconsciously trying to force their way in on you, and they're trying to smooth you out with nice words, trying to manipulate the conversation. That subconsciously, that you actually have the feeling that you made this decision by yourself, that you wanted to remain. MIKAEL is that good at talking, at manipulating a conversation to his own advantage. That's dangerous. And you don't immediately realize that either. Oh no, we need to go. I want to leave. I'll try to help. Now they are ridiculous. Good, let me know if you learn anything. Simona didn't understand why everyone was just dispersing. She glared angrily at Raphael as he left. But he, like MIKAEL, obviously felt no shame. Now we're leaving. As he left, he threw her an offer that she immediately wanted to refuse. Come see me later, please. I want to talk to you. Nah, you know what? You can all fuck yourselves. And ladies and gentlemen, who is not in here? David. My bitch. Nah, David is it. Like, fucking hell. I hate being in the middle of all this bullshit. Like, you want to actually make me believe that I actually have a choice here and everything. You'll be pulling bullshit like this? Nah, fuck off. Did they even hear me? I'll think about it. She hadn't planned on having this conversation, but she didn't want to offend Raphael. He's always been kind to me. He actually seems to have his act put together, and I feel like right now, because he's still tormented by like his gift / his sickness, there's still no confirmation if he's actually sick or if he actually has been cursed by his father to actually feel when someone is close to death or something. I feel like in his vulnerable state, he's easily manipulated and he just goes with it because that's what he has been doing the entire time. He's not actually thinking about it. Or let's just say I want to hope that that's it. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But MIKAEL? Raphael is glad that you trust him. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, Raphael. That has nothing to do with trust. And for the people in the comment section being like, you are extremely mistrusting person or you have trust issues, this has nothing to do with trust issues. I trust. I really do. Like the people, the real ones in the comment section, they know. Like I'm extremely open. And I'm always ready to trust. I just hate when people pretend to be someone they're not. Be honest with me. Tell me you're a bitch straight ahead. You're trying to turn all those fucking bullshit situation topics into your advantage and then pretending that I actually have a choice here. This is literally like us being a prisoner. I didn't want to actually entertain that fact because we actually applied there. But now that I think about it, it actually could make sense. MIKAEL always stirring the ship in order for him to get what he wants. Back then, I thought it was like part of our job to actually accompany him to like that event. But apparently that was not it at all. And the fact that we said that this man left and that we actually allowed him to leave and that he went to his competition because that's like what he wanted. And you actually command one of your employees to drag him back here against his will with force? Nah. Like, fuck off. Once alone with MIKAEL, Simona crossed her arms over her chest. She tried to put a stern expression on her face. Why do you need Harry? Why didn't you just hand him over to Valonia? He would have stayed at this station until morning and then gone out of town to his competition. The police could have escorted him and put him on a plane. MIKAEL interrupted her flowing stream of words with a single sentence. We want to save him. No, you don't want to do shit. Actually allowing people to drag him back by force. That's ridiculous BS. Saving him from his attacker is certainly noble, but holding him by force? Would anyone in their right mind voluntarily lock themselves in a prison? I see. No, you don't come to me with that bullshit, MIKAEL. You can fuck off. You feel like you're in prison. Yes. The fact that he actually feels offended by that, yes, I do. Like, we're supposed to be part of this fucking squad, but every single time there's something going on, like, you keep on excluding me. MIKAEL's offended. Y'all, the fuck? What did I say? Like, my capability to read people. It always saves my ass, ladies and gentlemen. It really does. MIKAEL's offended expression managed to appeal to her conscience. Not mine. No one here has actually locked me in a room. So? Nah. Stand your ground, bitch. Yes, I do. I stand my ground. You have your fucking opinion and I have mine. You haven't locked me in a room, fine. But it's not like I can actually do what I want either. Yes, we're an employee and we actually always let him know when we leave. And he lets us leave. Yes. But what he did with that boxer, he needs to fuck off. Who am I then? Your warden. Answer that question yourself, bitch. I don't know what your roles are here. Considering the fact that he's one time like this and one time like that, he's actually giving people whiplash. I'm most interested in mine and where I fit into your mysterious plan. That depends on you and your decisions. And as for your comment, there's no need to accuse us of special treatment. Didn't you tell the others that I was supposed to stay? I did. Why? But I didn't say we were supposed to charm you. Huh? I don't think everyone will admit it, but I assure you that your presence here is welcome. Uh-huh. You breathed life into this house, Simona. For many years it's been a bastion of melancholy and oppressive anticipation. Anticipation of what? Freedom. Oh, disaster, the fuck. But the more we resist the beast, the better our chances. That's why it's important that we protect you and Harry. It don't really make sense though, even if that beast somehow wants Harry. Like, how would saving us provide resisting the beast? Do you think the person that these killers serve has a special purpose? His victims are only the beginning of something bigger. Something much bigger than the deaths of a few people. How do you know? Our organization was created to protect people from threats that no police force can guard against. He is the greatest threat to humanity, and our main goal is to oppose him. His vague explanations were of little comfort. He says I'm free, but immediately adds that freedom is dangerous to me. Of course! What did I say? Manipulating you with his words that much that you actually have the feeling that you have a choice. He's willing to answer all my questions, but these answers only create more mystery. I'm so tired of this. So what is my role in this agency? Is my help just a circus act? MIKAEL stepped a little closer to her. You stay where the fuck you are or I'm gonna back away. I did not say that you can come closer. Honestly, y'all, I always find it funny and kind of appreciate that people are surprised when I stand my ground against someone I'm a whim for. In my eyes, it always depends on the personality. I had this conversation with a lot of my friends in the comment section area, okay? Face is not all there is to someone. If our personalities clash too much, then you suck. I cannot get on with you. Your face will not be capable to save you. It was the same thing with the general. I hate this BS. Trying to manipulate me. Is there no person on this earth that is capable to give, accuracy anymore? I just want to see that you are being honest. And they can't even do that. He almost allowed himself an unexpected liberty. Yep. His hand reached for hers, but a reason overcame emotion and stopped in short. Did he want to touch me? Don't matter if he wanted to touch you, because I would have smacked the shit out of him. You stay where you are. I did not give you any sort of permission to move closer. I'm sorry that my decision led us to such an unpleasant conversation. Nah, he's shady as fuck. His deliberate restraint was starting to get on her nerves. She wanted to finally see his true feelings. If you're sorry, then give me a direct answer. We really need an employee with strong empathy, someone capable of understanding other people. And I would like you to continue your work. Simona could no longer fight for the truth or force it out of MIKAEL, so she gave up. Fine, we'll just call it a happy accident. MIKAEL smiled sadly and hurried to end the delicate topic of a discussion. I don't believe in coincidences, but if they really brought us together, then I'm grateful for it. Outside, the garden leaves rustled. MIKAEL looked at them thoughtfully. He said distantly, "Well, you promised me that I won't have to worry about you, at least for the night." "I'm not going anywhere." I hope that your dreams will be pleasant despite everything, Simona. You will be in the nightmares, I assure you. I hope so too. Now I'm gonna have nightmares. And it's all thanks to you bitches actually being capable, like, to be shady like that. Simona nodded, then trudged to her room. Where's David when you need him? Where's that bitch when you need him to charm your way into your heart? Her habit of listening to her feelings didn't work this time. For some reason, her emotion changed at a rapid pace in this house. Yup. Or have I become so suggestible? I don't think so. As soon as MIKAEL said that everything was fine, her mind instead loosened its grip and gave way to doubt. And these people are so masterful at giving others everything they need, yet they were looking for an empath to join their group team. Because they can't. They lost it. They lost their empathy on the way. Before reaching the door, Simona paused outside Raphael's bedroom. Go in. The only one I wanted to knock, but the door suddenly opened on its own. Come in, please. Was he waiting for me behind the door? Which would be creepy. As she entered the room, she looked around awkwardly. The last time we were here, huh? The box remained on the chair, reminding her of the real danger she had narrowly avoided. And my photo would already be lying with the other evidence. Simona was reluctant to even approach the gruesome box, where dozens of corpses had been captured on film and buried. She sat down on the edge of the bed. So what did he want to talk to me about? Raphael took a seat on the dresser and intertwined his long fingers. I can see that you're struggling. Nice one. The fact that you didn't tell us about Harry right away only confirms my suspicions. And I'm not blaming you now. I want you to trust us and be on our side. Y'all, I'm sorry I have to say this. I know we're the main character, but like being all this in my eyes is just being shady. Or maybe it's just because I was never really a main character in my own life. Everyone actually being dismissive of my feelings, treating me like shit, and I just kept on pretending that I'm insanely important. Like the way they behaving the entire time. I want you to be on our side. I'm not that important. I'm not. I'm a human being. I'm a girl trying to fit in, trying to do my job, trying to put in my piece in order to create positivity in the world. And you all giving me the feeling that I'm some superwoman capable to save humanity. Like, stop. It actually makes me so upset. No one in this fucking world is that important that everyone would actually bump their heads together. It's not that simple. That's why I'm asking you to share your doubts and questions with me. I don't want you to search for answers on your own. You may endanger yourself and others. She immediately understood the reference to her escape from his room, but she needed to clarify who the others were. Others? Do you mean Harry? Raphael nodded cautiously. Still, he voiced his thoughts directly. I'm afraid if CASSIEL doesn't find him, the cult followers will. The threat seemed a bit far-fetched to Simona. But that woman is at the station right now. And you think that's the only person out there following the beast? The woman's just one of many. Yep. And if the hunt is on, his chances are very slim. I don't understand how someone actually came to think that he's another victim. His chances of escape? Of survival. The confidence with which Raphael said this made the blood drain from her face. I'm sorry, but it's true. It is true. So what am I supposed to ask so I can calm down, Raphael? How did you know who the next victim would be? That? Are you sure you're going to give me an honest answer? Raphael stood up and took a cautious step toward her. I just knew, Simona. Sometimes I feel something is going to happen, and it does. I keep on saying he's a banshee. Are you a clairvoyant or something? Not exactly. My abilities are limited to the cult's influence. Huh? What kind of nonsense is this? She don't believe in the supernatural either. So you can only see the future if it's related to the beast? The future is cloudy and changeable. Our decisions altered. I believe you now. You answered just as evasively as all clairvoyants. Raphael smiled sadly and came even closer. Now only one step separated them. I'm glad you find it amusing. I don't find it amusing. I'm actually this close to actually scream in frustration. Amusing, I'm just shocked that you can say it so seriously. A blended thought suddenly struck her. Maybe Raphael isn't sick. Maybe he just predicted his death. Yeah. Then there's a chance that he isn't dying. The agony of hope seized her so quickly that it was hard to breathe. But how do I ask him about it? We're so worried about him. Simona searched for the right words. She looked into Raphael's green eyes and changed her mind about asking her question. She no longer wanted to talk about death or find out what Raphael was dying of. She wanted to talk about life and believed that there was plenty of it for everyone. Raphael, would you like me to read your fortune? Can we do that? Raphael hadn't expected this suggestion from her. At first he was taken aback, but then his face lit up with skeptical smile. I don't think you can. I want to believe I can. Oh, if you can, then so can I. The smile, beautiful. Do you need any tools, cuts, bones? No, just give me your hand. Do you need them? No. Then I can do without them too. Give me your hand. Raphael crouched down so that he was level with Simona. He obediently held out his hand to her. How did the rage I felt right now for all this BS turn into me actually quaking and squeaking because this situation is so cute? How did we even get here? He obediently held out his hand to her. I try not to look into my own future. It's more important to look at the present. Don't worry, I'll look into it for you. Simona held his hand in one of hers and traced a lifeline with her thumb. What do you see? I see someone very noisy. Someone who often invades your personal space. Me. Simona narrowed her eyes mysteriously and lowered her voice. I think it's a man. And his name starts with a D. David. Really? I thought you were talking about just... I fucking hate it. Me. I'm capable to read them all. I just love my life. I said often, not once. But we're talking about the future. Oh, cute. So he sees us with him in the future. As in, not necessarily in a romantic way, but he sees us in his life. Simona suppressed a smile and traced the line a little further. I couldn't. Not me. I see a huge hall and everyone is jumping to their feet and shouting your name. Raphael! Raphael! If you're hinting at my violin playing, people don't usually shout at those kind of concerts. They're more reserved. Simona didn't admit the feat. She clicked her tongue softly and raised an eyebrow. Is it just me or are you being skeptical? God forbid, Simona, I believe you. Now that's a lie. It was hard to tell who was trying to distract whom from heavy thoughts, but in the end they both felt better. I feel better too. I hate this. Like, maybe I'm just a wimp. Maybe I just care too much about people. Like, I just want him to be okay. And whatever the future holds, it's not worth sacrificing the present for. Don't shut yourself off, Raphael. There are people around you who are always ready to support you. You know that, right? Raphael looked into her eyes and replied with surprising seriousness. I know. Thank you for looking behind the veil of mystery for me. Anything for you. You're welcome, we're friends after all. Nah, anything for you. Raphael was glad to be distracted from his bitter thoughts. He really appreciates you. I really appreciate him too. We gotta leave it up for the open. Who knows? Who knows? The palm reading was over, but Simona was in no hurry to let go of Raphael's hand. Give me your other one. Do you see something else? I see a heart beating. Holding his hand any longer felt too intimate. Attention next choice will significantly affect your relationship. Yes. Simona covered his hand with hers. She tore her gaze from their intertwined hands and looked into Raphael's eyes. I see life. She couldn't seem to warm his cool skin. Simona squeezed his fingers tighter. Just life? Yes. And I'm not looking any further. His pale skin seemed even whiter in the moonlight, making her heart ache. He shouldn't bury himself alive. He has no right. It can be bright and passionate like the hottest day. Or it can be calm and gentle like a starry night. Her voice trembled treacherously. We're so worried about him. Just ask him at this point. We heard it. It can't be anything, Raphael. It is yours alone. Suddenly Simona found herself completely undone. If Raphael's hands weren't holding hers, they would surely begin to shake. Why do I care so much about what happens to this man? I mean, in general, again, even if you're not in love with someone, you can truly care about someone. I don't really know that much yet, but I have the feeling that I met 2 platonic soulmates in my life already. Like, you can have platonic soulmates where you loved them to that extent that people from the outside world could not guess if you are lovers or just friends. You are that close. Your relationship is that intimate. And that's why you truly care about people. But even if it's not your soulmate, best friends, family, you care. And when you care, you truly worry about them and what happens to them. We care about Raphael, and it's okay. It's okay that we worry about him. And that is also just a normal human sense. Like, we worry about people. We have a good heart. We want everyone to be happy. We want everyone to have the opportunity at life. So, of course, we would feel bad. I'm not the master of my fate. I can do whatever I want. Simona was angry at herself for these strange feelings and at him for denying them. She almost shouted, "Yes, you can! Imagine that there are no missions imposed on you, that you don't know anything about the future except that you have one. Imagine that your life is in your hands right now, Raphael. Just imagine that and tell me what you want." Raphael gently freed his hands from her grip. Simona bit her lip in frustration. Why does he confine himself with these restrictions? Because he feels like this is the only way to protect himself. Because if he truly is dying, let's use this approach. Him actually allowing himself to actually talk about what he truly wants, yet he knows that it's something that he will never be capable to have, it would be a lot more depressing for him. So of course he would shut himself down and shut you down for actually trying to make him talk about it. Even if he has less than a week to live, period, isn't that a reason to live life to the fullest? There are a lot of people that can't actually ignore it because they always see like the future. That's something I do. I can't live in the present. Like, to put an example in here, in 3 months, I have my exams. I don't live in the present, actually, studying and everything. I worry about how the exams will go, even though it's 3 months away. There are people like that. They can't live in the present. And there are a lot of people, because of depression and whatever, like you name it, all the negativity being imposed on you, they live in the past. They haven't even found their way to the present yet. Simona was about to leave. She was about to abandon this pathetic attempt to provoke any emotion from Raphael, but he managed to surprise her. Suddenly, gently his hand came to rest on her face, tenderly, almost weightlessly. There's no reason to be angry at the world. It is no reason to close your eyes to what is destined for you, Simona. It is no reason to dive headfirst into the abyss and pretend that consequences don't concern you. Did he figure out that I know? But if... Oh... Gently interrupting her, Raphael smiled and allowed himself to place a second hand on her face. This is so cute. That's also like a nice sign of like intimacy. He's like, you do not need to worry about me. Like to experience all possible emotions, Simona, from tenderness to adoration. He's a cutie pie, of course. Wait until the desire truly hits you. That's when you will change. I like to fight not for others, but for myself. And if my life were in my hands, I'd like to taste it. His ambiguous words and his closeness made her heart beat a little faster. Swallowing, Simona gazed at Raphael's lips. She whispered so quietly that she wasn't sure if it was out loud at all. Then taste it. Taste what you want, son. Taste life to the fullest. You say you are lifeless and I'm filled with life and energy. Grab me. Grab the bull by the horns. Kiss me, let us become intimate, let us share this intense moment, and you drain me a little bit of my life in order to fuel your lifelessness. Enchanted and confused by this game, Raphael leaned toward her lips. Simona had no time to realize what was happening. His soft, sensual lips found hers too quickly. They covered hers in a tender, gentle kiss. Tender, gentle kiss, I don't know what to do about that. Oh my god, look at this cute picture. No, this is so beautiful. What can I tell you? God, what are we doing? Honestly, you should more ask yourself what I'm doing. Like, I'm dancing with MIKAEL at the dance. I'm kissing Raphael here. Like, I allow CASSIEL to carry me towards the house. I am dancing sexually with David and making out with him, or more like having the sexual foreplay in the interrogation room. Like, I be doing too much. Raphael pulled away and looked into her eyes. His own eyes were wide open, as if he hadn't expected himself to do something like this. Well, when your impulsiveness gets the upper hand, I love when people that actually are masters of their own emotions lose control. I really do. I do. Like, allow me to see that I'm capable to make you lose control. Is he already regretting this? I don't think he's regretting this. I feel like he's regretting more the fact that he wasn't capable to stop himself. Simona parted her lips. She tried to find the words to turn the innocent kiss into something less meaningful, but her mind was eerily silent. Only her heart pounded in a frantic rhythm. How do I turn this into a joke now? Raphael finds it easy to lose himself around you, period, but Raphael suddenly freed her from her torment. He reached for her. This is going too far. Do I want this? Yes. Her mind fell silent under the weight of her emotions, and Simona leaned into him. Her hands moved to his neck, her fingers tangling in his soft hair. Raphael kissed her again, urgently, like a man dying of thirst, desperately, as if it were the last time. Her slightly parted lips didn't stop his tongue from slipping between them, and for some reason Simona didn't want to resist. Raphael held her tighter and pulled her closer, forcing her to grip his shoulders. It's the fact that he's like the most innocent one, and we are having the first sex with him. Like, that's interesting. The unexpected passion made her dizzy and left no room for jokes. Maybe I'm dreaming? Nope. This is too beautiful to be a dream. Raphael kissed her hungrily. What did I say? It's the innocent ones. I did this analysis, y'all, where I said he's innocent, but wait until he actually cannot control himself anymore. He will lose control and then he will turn into a beast. Crushing her lips but sending a pleasant warmth through her body. I don't want him to stop. It was only when she felt her body slowly tilt toward the bed under his weight that Simona jerked upward. The slight movement was enough to bring Raphael to his senses. He was willing to go all in. We actually make him lose that much control. He pulled away abruptly, jumping to his feet and running a hand through his hair. He's like, shit. It seemed that Raphael lost control for the first time, period. And was it still an innocent kiss, ladies and gentlemen? Was it still a virgin kiss? Nah, this man actually turned into the beast. What did I tell you? Mona, forgive me. I don't know what came over me. What I wanted you to. Like, we were both in it. He reached out to help her up, then quickly withdrew his hand as if afraid to touch her and lose control again. Oh, please. My apologies. Now he'll fear me like the plague. Nah. We'll be capable to get him in a room again. Simona scolded herself for their foolish conversation. She bit her lips, still burning from the passionate kiss. I'm sorry, Raphael. I never should have brought this up. I wanted to. Simona stumbled over her words. She was completely at a loss. What did I want? What was my goal? I'll just go, Raphael. Simona didn't wait for an answer. She almost ran to her room. Seeing Raphael's bewildered face was unbearable. This will be a little awkward for the both of them. Simona rushed into her room and clutched her head. We really kissed. She caught her breath and tried to make sense of her feelings. I like that kiss. And how am I supposed to work with Raphael after this? He was clearly distressed by his behavior. Oh, that's fine. Like, we will get him again. Oh, sorry. Alright, so we had a nice, passionate moment with Raphael. Now where's David? Suddenly, a completely different face flashed before her mind's eye. It seems I've complicated things now. Simona didn't know what to think. She stared out the window. The gloomy garden immediately reminded her of Harry, as if it had been waiting for her to return. With each passing second, the chances of Harry actually coming back diminished. I only waited a few minutes. He could only have gotten to Astrea statue in that time. Besides, someone who doesn't know that place can easily get lost in the garden unlike CASSIEL. Unless the quiet insidious voice from the garden echoed in her mind. What are you doing here, you sly fox? Unless someone helped Harry get out of the garden faster. Simona found herself unable to look at the greenery any longer. She stepped away from the window and lay down on her bed. She pulled a blanket over her head. Simona could not see comfort in the gods she had turned away from many years ago, but she whispered a prayer just in case. Please let CASSIEL tell me when I wake up that Harry went to his competition and that he's alright. She was awakened early in the morning by persistent messages. God damn, Simona almost dropped her ill-fated phone in her grogginess. She brought the screen to her sleepy eyes and squinted. Ruth, what? Hope you remember what day it is today. Sunday. Ugh. And you promised to meet me. Yes, Ruth, of course I remember. I'll send you the address I moved to. I'm glad you finally agreed. Uh-huh. Simona didn't share her friend's joy, but her sense of duty was stronger. I'll suffer for an hour, but Ruth will be happy, and she'll leave me alone for at least 6 months. She practically crawled out of me every Sunday. Before waddling into the shower, she put on the first outfit she could grab. At least I don't have any assignments today, so I can wear something less formal. All right. Ooh. I don't know. No, I'm gonna go with this one. Why not? Now for my hair. Let's see. Oh God, again. I don't know. They all look kinda strange to me. I'm gonna go with this. Braids. Simona was dreaming of a hearty breakfast and a cup of coffee when she opened the door. She almost bumped into David as he walked toward her room. I've been asking for you. I really have. Good morning. He paused in the doorway, then winked at her mysteriously and glanced over her outfit. You look beautiful. How many times have you said that? It's like you knew where I wanted to take you. Bye. Back to the club? Even better, to court. Let's restore your good name. Bye. Her stomach immediately twisted with excitement. She suddenly lost her appetite for breakfast. And where do I need to be there? No. The heck is going on? David clearly didn't share her anxiety. He smiled radiantly. This man is so fucking confident. Actually, I'm gonna jump him if he manages to do something. Like, how long have we actually told this man that... How long has it been, let me say it like this, since we told him about our license and that he actually was immediately willing to save it? Just don't tell me you're worried about the process. You'll offend me deeply with your lack of confidence in me. It has nothing to do with confidence in you. It has to do with confidence in me. I'm bad luck. Even a court-appointed lawyer wouldn't lose such an easy case. Simona disagreed, but she didn't argue. I need to pull myself together. How should I act? What should I say? Nothing. Count on me, Simona. Remember, court is a place where only lawyers should speak. You just need to answer questions with one word. Yes or no. Got it. Yes. Good girl. Bye. The innuendos. Get your thoughts together and come downstairs. I'll be waiting for you in the car. Without entering the room, David closed the door and disappeared. Simona tried to calm her heart. This is not how I imagined this day would go. Simona had only attended hearings a few times. The first time she found herself on the witness stand was when a colleague was involved. A psychiatrist with 20 years of experience signed the discharge paper for a young man declaring him of abandonment. After leaving the hospital, the first thing the young man did was go to his ex's house and beat her to death with a kitchen hammer. Why? Well, they found the former patient naked and bloody on the roof of a nearby house, brandishing a murder weapon and threatening to kill anyone who dared approach him. It took 3 large police officers and a small tranquilizer syringe to subdue him. When her colleague saw the patient on the news the next morning, he immediately went to Gotland to collect his things. At this time, I felt like I would never let something like that happen. And now I'm sitting where the murderer once sat, shooting sideways glances at the jury. And these people that I'm seeing for the first time, probably last time, must decide my fate. During the prosecutioner's emotional speech, Simon alternated between sweating and shivering. The nervous, balding man appealed to the jury's sympathy, arguing that the psychiatrist's neglections had killed not only Arthur, but the entire Glass family. The fuck? It's not my fault that they were run over. Is he accusing me of a triple homicide? The terrible accusation did not bother David in the least. David is a bitch. Like, he knows how to win. He knows how to win, and I love him for it. The fucking confidence is so fucking attractive. When his turn came, he jumped up and addressed the jury.
My client is charged with a truly serious crime of driving someone to suicide. My opponent has vividly described how terrible it was, and I agree with every word. But does that apply to my client?
Without addressing anyone in particular, David paused, allowing everyone to ponder the question.
First, in order to prove her guilt, you must prove the existence of somatic attempts to drive Arthur to suicide. But what do we know? The patient had already attempted suicide unsuccessfully before coming to Gotland. So to carry out her plan, as the prosecutor puts it, my client would simply have to prescribe Arthur the wrong dosage of antidepressants or not describe them at all, and set them on or pulled him out of a noose, which brings me to my second point. Her efforts are evident in the patient's medical records. There was positive progress, and all confirmed by the several doctors at the hospital. This is evidence of my client's diligent work. She helped Arthur overcome clinical depression, and prior to the incident, neither the patient nor his parents complained about his condition. They were completely satisfied. Mrs. Gladys was a tougher woman, like any other mother. She was willing to do anything for her child. Would she have ignored poor treatment? Hardly.
My respect for this bitch keeps on growing. I'm so shocked with the way he's actually capable to talk that I actually have... I can't even say something because it is true. And I love this. He's capable to use his words. Yes, that means he's capable to talk. That's why he's capable to actually say straightforward what he likes and what he wants. The wrinkles on the jurors' foreheads gradually smoothed.
One last thing. Everyone here has forgotten the main question. Was there even a suicide attempt? What exactly are we accusing my client of? As you know, the patient attacked her, a fragile woman, in cold blood, but she managed to fight back. Are there people in this room who would accuse her of the crime of wanting to live? She fought and won, scaring Arthur away, and when I went for the door, he ran around the office crying. He was confused. Things hadn't gone according to plan. The victim escaped and was screaming for help. And what does Arthur do? Surrender? Repent? No, he runs away like a coward.
Damn!
Simona's already holding the doorknob. She is almost in the hall, and there are paramedics. The fear of being caught drives Arthur to freedom, to the window. 3rd floor, not that high. He may have believed that the trees would break his fall and allow him to escape in time. And he would have had a chance if he hadn't tilted his head on the asphalt.
The way David presented the information seemed so convincing that Simona herself began to wonder why she was sitting in the defendant's seat. He is so good, y'all. It's so attractive, y'all. I can't. I'm actually blushing. This man is so good. I can't. He's capable to actually... That's technically what MIKAEL is doing too, if you want to place it like this. He has every single information at hand. He does research. And then he's capable to manipulate... With his nice words and capability of persuasion, he's capable to manipulate a conversation into that direction that subconsciously makes other people feel shitty about themselves for feeling the way they do in the first place. I love this. If I knew what to say, I could defend myself in court.
Before you make your decision, think carefully about who the real victim here is. The failed murderer or the doctor who already saved Arthur's life once.
Wow, David. Let me give you a smooch afterwards. David sat back down. He sadly squeezed Simona's trembling hand under the table.
You're a great little witch. You helped up really well.
As she held his hand, Simona felt exactly what he had talked about the first day they met. She really was under his protection, and it was as dazing as a kiss. He really helped me. The recess was short. Predictably, the jury sided with David and dismissed the charge against Simona. Now there is no reason to revoke my license. As if reading her mind, David remarked,
Your license is in your pocket. You're just one letter away from getting it back, and I'm ready to write that letter for you today. Oh, and I suggest you get insurance from the Medical Protection Society. That way next time it won't go to court at all.
I don't even know how to thank him. This man, he thought everything out, leaving no chance for losing. This man is a menace, and this is exactly what I do. Like, I can calm down. That's where I side with the main character. I can't calm down if I think of everything a situation could go wrong. Now, David is taking it to another level. He thinks of everything a situation could turn out worse for you. He does real research. And then he actually covers every single topic that could lead to you actually looking like the bitch. This man is a menace. Kiss David on the cheek. I would have even kissed him on the lips, if that would have been a thing. Thank you. Unsure how to respond, Simona gently touched David's hand. During his speech, he was so serious and composed. I never would have expected this from the same funny guy I know. That's why I like to actually dig deeper and find out who they truly are. David glanced down and grinned contentedly.
Was it scary?
Maybe at first, but as soon as you took control, I felt calm. Unable to contain himself, David intertwined their fingers. He stepped a bit closer to make sure no one else in the room could hear.
A little more and everyone will think I wasn't just offending a client.
Well, sucks to be me. As if he really wanted to spread these rumors, David took another step. He looks at me so tenderly, only a fool wouldn't notice that. I wouldn't want to tarnish your impeccable reputation, master.
Do you have any idea on how to tarnish it?
A blowjob, a hand job, or kissing you and biting your lip. I have many options. I do, but I'm not going to act on them. David feigned a frown and drawled.
Such cruel words. It's not like we lost, we
Bye. She desperately wanted to support his playful mood, but even more than that, she wanted to express her gratitude. He really helped me and asked for nothing in return. Yes, that's what a real one does. He's the bitch, y'all. I feel like David is it for me. I really am. I'm so... y'all, it's so difficult. But I feel like it's David. Because he actually gives off the exact same vibes as MIKAEL. Just that he decided to actually turn them into something else. Like, he also has the capability to actually manipulate you into making you believe that you want something or need something. Meanwhile, MIKAEL he's still extremely detached and calm. I want to know if I'm capable to get through to you or not. And this man is actually not hiding the fact that he's willing to always be there to save us from any damage. He's just holding my hand and turning everything into a joke. Because he doesn't want us to stress. Thank you, David. Seriously. What you did means a lot to me. It means too much to me to accidentally ruin your career with some foolishness. Simona pulled back and tried to free herself, but David stepped forward again.
Let them think that way, Simona. I don't expect any special thanks from you. I just don't want you to feel like you can't do what you want. And when you want.
In love with him. I really am. This man literally says, I don't need anything from you. I just wanted to give you back the right to could live your life the fullest and the way you want. Simona bit her lip and thought for a moment. Well, alright. Since you're so bold? Simona stood on her tiptoes and moved closer to David. He was intrigued by her closeness. She left a kiss on his stubbled cheek. It was tender and perhaps too long for a simple thank you. I hope this doesn't ruin your reputation. She pulled away and met his playful gaze.
That's the kind of reward I like, of course you would.
David ignored the people's narrowed eyes around him. He spoke a little louder.
Perhaps you have other legal problems, overdue parking fines for instance. I'm willing to settle any travel matter.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no doubt. What the fuck has this turned into? David is ready to get you out of any trouble. Of course he is.
Then I suggest we discuss all your crimes at home in front of the fireplace.
Bye. I'm in. The word home reminded her of the soft lips of another resident. If David found out about my kiss with Raphael, would he still help? I don't actually believe that this has anything to do with the fact that we're close to him. I feel like he's that kind of person that you can always rely on him to get you out of trouble. Her conscience screamed like an alarm. David doesn't deserve this, and neither does Raphael. I need to be more careful with these games before it's too late. That though. But I couldn't help myself. Raphael is tempting me too. Simona looked at the clock and realized that she didn't have much time left. Damn, I'm supposed to meet Ruth. David, honestly, this hearing came as a surprise to me. I have to run.
You're slipping away once again. At least let me know who dared to steal away our victorious evening.
My friend Ruth, I promised to meet her at church.
No one's ever run away from me to church before. What would you do there? Do you want to pray in advance for sins we haven't committed yet?
Oh, please. Don't. Son. Don't be coming at me like this. Like, you can actually slap yourself on the back when you actually had me. Yet, very confident of you.
Very foresighted. Pray hard so we have plenty of room to work with.
Nah, David is actually the winning one. If Ruth could hear you, she'd throw holy water in your face. Let me get the water. I'm pretty sure he looks fine as fuck with wet hair. Bye.
It wouldn't do any good against me.
He would just look like a god. His playful tone changed rather abruptly to a serious one.
You do know her well, right?
And he's worried. I love him. Yeah, she's an old friend of mine. I'm definitely safe with her. Her assurance clearly didn't convince him very much, but David sighed and gave in.
Let me at least call you a taxi.
I'll let you do that. Let's go. After saying goodbye to David, Simona gave the taxi driver an unfamiliar address. He typed it into the GPS and shifted it in his sheet, making himself comfortable. They had a little over an hour to go. Oh, Rude, where have you gone this time? 10 minutes into the monotonous drive, Simona felt herself drifting off to sleep. The landscape outside the car window remained unchanged. The narrow road led them further away from the bustling city. Simona awoke abruptly as the car screeched to a long halt. What? Are we a necessary sacrifice? Simona stepped out of the car and looked around. The fuck is going on? Where did we go? She was in a defense forest with a barely visible overgrown path. It didn't inspire confidence, and a huge fallen tree blocked the driver's path, adding to the strangeness. What kind of wilderness is this? The tall grass was untouched by tires. It swayed rhythmically, creating whispering doubts. Maybe I got the wrong address? The driver jabbed his finger at the GPS. He explained that the village was about half a mile away, but he couldn't go any further for obvious reasons. Just to be sure, Simona checked the map on her phone. There was no mistake. The driver shrugged and suggested they turn back, but she hesitantly declined. As she watched the car drive away, she clutched the phone in her hand. If Ruth doesn't show up here right now, I'd better call the taxi driver and ask him to turn around. But a familiar red head appeared from behind the tree. Simona breathed a sigh of relief and put her phone away. Simona, darling. Ruth. The women quickened their pace and jumped into each other's arms, ignoring the obstacle that separated them. It's been so long since I've seen you, Simona. Ruth held her friend by the shoulders and stepped back to gaze at her radiant face. You look wonderful. Did you get here all right? Just fine. And you're getting further and further away from the city, aren't you? I don't like all that noise, and this is very small, quiet village. If you go to the central square, you can see all the buildings. Sounds scary. A tiny village in the woods, like in a horror movie. Ruth clicked her tongue playfully and smiled. You always try to paint everything in a gloomy light. There are positive things here, if you say so. Ruth pulled away from her fan and glanced down unhappily. We still haven't moved this tree. There was a strong hurricane last week, and it knocked down a lot of them. It's all right. I'll climb over it. Simona grabbed a protruding branch and jerked her hand away in disgust. The rotten bark of the tree stuck to her palm, revealing an unpleasant sight, a damp, exposed trunk crawling with insects. Did it rot that much in a week? It feels like it's been lying here for at least a year. Ruth noticed Simona's confusion and held out her hand. Grab on. Simona slid on the slippery log. She managed to overcome the obstacle and jumped down to the ground. She tried to brush the dirt off her clothes, but only smeared it more. Right. Let's go. I'll find you something to change into. Simona caught up with her friend. She tried to see where the path led, but saw nothing. How far is it to the village? Not far. About half a mile. The barely visible trail made it look like no tires had ever touched it. It was hard to even call it trodden. The infrastructure here isn't that great, is it? Not many people leave the village. We have everything we need here. The familiar phrase made the forest seem a little darker, as if she didn't spend enough of her childhood in a world limited by strict rules. Now she's locking herself up in something similar again. That's different here. Whatever you say, girl. Simona gave Ruth a wry smile, pretending she wasn't thinking about that very thing at all. The fresh air and the quiet is like... I like it. Sorry. After walking in silence for a while, Simona couldn't stand it anymore. They hadn't seen each other for so long that the silence felt like something wrong. Sorry for disappearing after that incident. I needed some time alone. You don't have to apologize. I feel bad that I pushed you so hard that you had to change your dress. Ruth, I changed it because of the reporters, not because of you. Ruth pressed her lips together and frowned. You could have told me the new one, but I understand. The important thing is that we finally made up. The rest doesn't matter anymore. Simona didn't want to justify her reclusiveness, so she changed the subject. Thanks for asking Malik to help me. He's a wonderful man. He would never refuse to help me. Simona could barely contain the curiosity that threatened to burst out of her. She tried to approach the subject carefully. I almost forgot that he taught at her uni. Ruth smiled sadly and changed the subject. Did I get your license back? Someone else returned it to me. Did he refuse to help you? Surprised, Ruth raised her eyebrows and slowed her pace. He helped me with something else, and he would have gotten my license back, I'm sure. I see. Sometimes I feel like the only way to see him more is to get in trouble more. The bitterness in her voice said more than she intended. Now she likes him. Ruth. I'm kidding, of course. Ruth turned away and walked a little further. Poor thing, I should talk about something else. The village. Tell me about this place. It's a pretty old village. There is not much to tell. I can tell you a local legend. Go ahead. They say that in the 17th century, all its inhabitants disappeared, and the village was abandoned for a long time. It was not until close to the 20th century that it was repopulated. Simona's jaw dropped in surprise. She could barely find words. Not much to tell, you say? It's just a legend, Simona. I think there was a bad harvest year, and people had to leave. Nothing eatable grows here now. You can't look at our vegetable gardens without crying. What do you eat then, if you don't leave the village much? We have very deep cellars and a lot of supplies. Okay. It was nice meeting you, Ruth. I'll be out. Her life. It's been a while since we've seen each other. You must have a lot of news. There is a reason I went to a place where nothing happens. Aren't you bored? I'm peaceful. If I want fun, I'd get a job at the Astrea detective agency. Funny. Simona smiled crookedly, appreciating the joke. Sometimes it's even too much fun. The church. Do you go to a local church now? Yes. We'll go to the service together this evening. Will it be interesting? You'll like it. Maybe you'll even want to stay here with me forever. I doubt it, but sure. That's highly unlikely. Ruth gently took her by the arm and smiled. Never say never, Simona. Am I the only one a little scared of her right now? Stay silent. Like, never say never. I'm just gonna hold you here against your will. Like, can happen. The women continued walking in silence until they reached the main square. Oh my god, okay. The village wasn't as tiny as Ruth had described. The windows of the houses in the square faced them, creating the impression that they were on a stage. How is that after her childhood Ruth found the strength to settle in such a place? This is where the festivals are usually held. Vendors sell things and people walk around. Do you know all the residents here? No, of course not, but there are many of them. 1,052 people. Simona's smile was strange. She tried to pretend to enjoy the whole thing. Ruth has always been like this. It's no surprise that this place attracted her. A young man approached him. He smiled brightly, then addressed Ruth. Okay. Sunshine, I see your friend has finally found a way to us. Sunshine? The man pecked Ruth on the cheek, then held out his hand. I'm Franz. Nice to meet you. Simona shook his hand and looked around. A huge wooden church towered like a giant against the backdrop of tiny houses. Some passers-by cast curious glances at the guests. Most of them were busy with their daily tasks and simply walked by. Come, I'll help you settle in. On the way to the hotel, Franz asked questions but didn't really listen to the answers. As soon as Simona fell silent, he'd ask the next question but wouldn't follow up on any of these topics. Like cardboard cut out of friendliness. The fakeness. For the people that wanted to know what that means. Fake as bullshit, like talking about the weather. Her temporary shelter was a small 3-story hotel that had seen better days. The inside smelled of old age. It was an odor that no amount of chemicals could remove. Ugh. The room itself could pass for a historical relic, were it not for the small TV set stuck modestly in the corner. It looks like this place hasn't been renovated in decades. Make yourself at home, Simona. Call the receptionist if you need anything. In the meantime, I'll prepare for the evening service. Once left alone with her friends, Simona gave in to her anxious, curious desire to ask questions. Prepare? Is he the pastor? Asked the best in his field. Simona chose her words carefully. She didn't want to accidentally offend her old friend. And what does that entail? The ability to lead others by his example? The ability to lead others to God, Simona. Ruth straightened out a freshly washed sheet. She approached the window and adjusted the already perfectly ironed curtain. Do you really expect me to stay here? I hope you'll stay the night. Then we'll see what happens. Simona hadn't planned to spend the night here, but when she remembered the fallen tree, she realized that she wouldn't be able to leave this place late in the evening. Looks like I'll really have to stay overnight. Ruth rummaged through the closet and pulled out a simple dress. She placed it on the bed. Ugh. There is a bathroom behind the door. You can freshen up and change, relax. I'll help the others and come back for you later, alright? Alright, Ruth. Don't get bored, dear. I'll be back soon. Ruth gently closed the door behind her. She walked silently across the creaky parquet floor of the hallway. What is even happening? Simona sat on the bed and sighed heavily. Her childish desire to be home right now irritated her with its impracticality. Why can't we just call the guys? Ruth was capable to call us. So why can't we? I've refused to come here so many times. What was stopping me from refusing again? Simona nudged the faded carpet grimly with the toe of her shoe. She thought of Astrea. I'd rather sit in the garden and argue with CASSIEL than go through all this. Will we look at that? The thought of the man reminded her that it wouldn't hurt to let someone to know that she'd be sleeping elsewhere tonight. Thank you. Who should I call? Shit. Oh, God. Raphael. David. Michael. CASSIEL. we let MIKAEL know the last time, and I'm still sketchy of MIKAEL. I don't think I can trust him. Like, I'm pretty sure Pagdea, since he said that MIKAEL is her favorite, will like let me know how she feels about him. But right now he's giving me some shady vibes. I don't know where to place this man. He was one of my favorites. Now I have the feeling that David took the place. I just feel the need to let David know. Like, screw me, what can I do? It's important to you that David doesn't worry. What can I tell you? Like, I'm a bitch, alright? Like, sue me. You wanna dial the right number, then listen to the rough buzz and crackle. I see. After struggling a bit more, the connection cut off on its own. I'll send a text. Maybe I'll get through. I'm not staying at Astrea tonight. I'm fine. The place is remote and the connection is bad. Simona thought for a moment. She decided to send the address as well, just in case. After placing the phone on the bedside table, Simona stood up. She pulled out the dress Ruth had left behind and grimaced. David would faint if he saw me in this. Why? What's it look like? Simona clutched the fabric. She prudently decided to latch the door. It wouldn't hurt to wash the dirt off. She spent a good half hour relaxing in the surprisingly cozy and spacious bathroom before returning to the bedroom. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm about to faint. I'm going to call this a terribly boring vacation. It looks like we're actually on the field. Heidi! Simona wasn't sure how to occupy herself, so she lay down on the bed and turned on the TV. The cable here didn't work much better than the cell phone service. The video feed was streaky and kept cutting out. Charming. Simona grew annoyed as she flipped through the channels before finally settling on one with a relatively clear picture. She ended up watching a news program. Well, let's hear about what's happening in the world. Could not be me. The image of a news anchor kept freezing. The ends of their sentence were cut short by chopping connections. Still, they managed to get the main point across every now and then. Behind the heavy curtain, the first dull drops of rain began to tap on the window pane. I hope the rain doesn't last too long. No one will come to this remote place in bad weather. Simona worried that she would be stuck here for more than one night. She approached the window and pulled the thick fabric aside. A bright flash of light struck her eyes as if in greeting. Nice, lightning. The interference lessened either due to the lightning or something else. The audio became clearer. The voice of the news anchor became louder and more confident. What? It remains unknown exactly where he's hiding. Simona grabbed the remote and pointed it at the TV. The image drifted across the screen in waves. She couldn't bring herself to press the button. Painfully familiar eyes peered from the streaks of static and then disappeared. Anyone with information about the whereabouts of Philip Morrison urged to contact the police. Shit, he escaped. Still frozen with her arm outstretched, Simona stared unblinkingly ahead. Now only one image remained in front of her eyes. Yeah. Didn't Mommy tell you to hide? More is on the loose. I need to warn my colleagues. Simona rushed to the bedside table and froze again. Her phone wasn't there. Didn't I put it here? Oh no, is he there? Oh my god. Simona spun around in confusion. She caught a glimpse of the door. The chain she distinctly remembered inserting into the latch was dangling. Unlock. No. Oh no! She pulled the handle to get out, but she couldn't open the door. What the hell's going on? Pull the handle again, like let us be impulsive, bitches, let me. Simona pulled harder, but nothing happened. Is it locked? Simona tried again, and again. What the hell? I need to get out of here. I can't stay here forever. She didn't have to stay in the room for long before the door opened for her. Ruth looked cautiously at her friend and stepped inside. What's going on? Ruth hastily closed the door behind her and laid her back against it. You're ready. Great. Is this some kind of joke? Someone locked me in and my phone is missing. I'm not in the mood to attend service. I've got your phone. Calm down. Her friend's words did not calm her. Didn't she just come in? Her phone was inside. We didn't leave it out. Why did you take it? To see what you know. It turns out you're not as naive as friends said.
You're hunting the beast yourself. It's stupid, but it deserves respect. The fuck is going on? Excuse me? I'm talking about the mark of the beast in your phone. You're really connected to him. It's amazing. Oh, fuck no. Our friend is also a bitch. And reputation. Simona took an involuntarily step back. The icy chill of her realization ran down her spine. Rude, who are you praying to here? Prayers. Not a single one of my prayers was answered by God. Yet I spent my entire childhood kneeling before him. She actually is praying to the beast / in my world at least, the beast is the devil. Like, this is a bunch of Satanists. No, we do not pray here. We praise. Y'all, what am I supposed to say? But for what? She received no answer to her question. Ruth advanced on her predatorily like a cat ready to pounce. After everything they've done to us, Simona, after everything we've been through, don't you want to start with a clean slate? The fuck? Hell no! First off, give me a phone back, bitch. And second, if you do not back away, I'm gonna fucking murder you. Simona really wanted to grab her friend and give her a good shake, but right now it was more important to get out of the room. Rude, this isn't a clean slate. You're going to cover it with blood and write over it. Your new world will be built on bones and ashes. So be it. That's the way things are built, Simona. Wow. Yeah, technically, she does have a point, though, because after World War I and World War II, the entire world was, like, destroyed, and slowly we all needed, like, to put in our pace and actually clean everything that was destroyed during the World War. There are always sacrifices to be made. By me? I never agreed to this, Ruth. If you want to stick your neck through a goose, go ahead. Simona, you don't understand. It was all preordained. You were born sinful, and you must present your sin as a gift to our new God. She called us here so that we can be the sacrifice. This is just nonsense. I have to stop this and run while she's still the only one here. Before Franz shows up. No, we can't. Persuade her, we can't panic. Don't delay the inevitable, Simona. Oh, fuck no, I actually would just, just kick her, ram her head against the door, because that actually means that she never was our friend. She was trying to get us into service all the damn time because she wanted us to actually be the sacrifice. That's literally what she said. You were born sinful, and we are gonna offer you to our new God. So their God is the beast. And the beast wanted us so many times that it sent so many followers. So that means that everyone that is here in this little village was sent out to get us. Like everyone that was trying to hurt us, to kill us, came from this village. Either you go willingly or you'll be dragged by force. Choose. The fuck? No way, I'm not giving up just like that. Lock her up. Without a moment's hesitation, and when I ran for the exit, I'm the bitch. That's good that I actually picked the skeptical approach, because that's actually would be me in a dangerous situation. I'm not gonna persuade you bitch, the second you come at me with some sass, with some attitude, I'm killing you. Predictably, a root blocked her path. Simona, don't be foolish. You can't hide from me in this room. Simona slowly backed away and moved aside. She grabbed the hefty figurine from the table and hurled it at her friend. Rude, if you think I'm going to willingly join another bunch of fanatics, you're out of your mind. Rude dodged the flying object. She immediately lunged forward, trying to grab Simona. Rude, you're not thinking clearly. We barely escaped one cold that almost killed us, and now you're joining another one. You need help. This time, Ruth's hands found their targets. She grabbed Simona by the hair and pulled her in with all her might. Then Ruth knocked her to the ground and sat on top of her. Damn it. Intoxicated with fear and anger, Simona didn't just see Ruth in front of her. She saw her patient. And the entire cult, too. Period. What did I say? She saw her patient. The patient that just died. And she didn't hesitate to act. I guess I'm destined to go to jail for exceeding the limits of a necessity defense.
Simona reached for the falling figure nearby and struck Ruth on the head with all her strength. The fragile Ruth immediately went limp. The little bitch. Simona got up and checked Ruth's pulse. Once satisfied with her friend's steady breathing, she riffled through Ruth's pockets. There you are. Great. Bye, bitch. The groom key, period. You are in there. Stay here and think about your behavior, Ruth. Like the mother. I'll call the cops in the meantime. Ruth groaned heavily and sat up. She leaned against the edge of the bed. The police. History repeats itself, doesn't it? You chose their side. You want to slaughter us like a flock of sheep. No. I'm here to defend my life. Like, life is shitty enough as it is. Why do I need to cause more mischief? If God actually wasn't there, like, this is exactly like the people that are non-believers like me. I would understand what she means, like praying and not ever having the feeling that God is there to listen. I understand. But just because I don't believe in God anymore doesn't mean that I don't believe in my moral. I have morals. I don't want to inflict pain on anyone. And if God doesn't feel the need to help me, that doesn't mean I need to join a cult in order to create chaos because God wasn't there for me. Then I need to be my own savior. I need to be my own angel. I need to stand up for my own self, for the people that I love, with my own inner strength. Just because I don't have God's help, or I don't think I'm getting it, doesn't mean that I need to turn into a bitch. Like the fuck? Simona could barely resist the urge to give her friend one last good kick. Before she walked away, she shouted, I chose the side of the living, like any normal person would. Simona locked the now fully recovered Ruth inside and rushed into the street. You managed to deal with Ruth. This will affect the plot. Period. Simona ran out into the square, then hesitated for a moment. Where out to now? Girl, in my world, let's just say it like this. You just run, bitch. You just run. Anywhere is better than here. Without thinking twice, Simona rushed back to where she came from and headed toward the forest. The ominous silence around her created a sense of impending doom. Each step echoed loudly across the empty square. Simona slowed her pace and walked quietly, blending into the shadows. Better to be unnoticed than fast. Monsters, however, are known to lurk in the shadows. As soon as she walked into the darkness, an old acquaintance stepped out to meet her. The fucking hell.
Where do you think you're going?
Moore came a little closer. His smile was oily.
It's so gratifying to realize that I will be the one to help complete the ritual. It will be my name to the beast inscribed into the history of the New World.
The pounding of her heart drowned out his words, but Simona was driven by sheer animal fear. She didn't even try to understand what he was saying. More, one more stab and I'll scream. No one will help you. That's the fucking problem.
Oh, I'm counting on it. But save your voice for the beginning of the ceremony. When I pick up the knife, you'll need it.
An old man looked out of this house across the street. When Simona saw him, she took a deep breath and screamed at the top of her lungs. Call the police! There's a criminal! The man's eyes darted around in fear and stopped on Moore.
Get in the house.
The old man slammed the door and shut and disappeared. Is Moore in charge here? The man's voice was nothing like the one Simona had heard in the club. There was no uncertainty or submissiveness in it. It was firm and threatening. What should I do? Fight! Simona picked up a stone from the ground. She hurled it at Moore with all her might. He dodged her gracefully, responding only with hysterical laughter.
To throw stones at someone, Simona, you must be first. Without sin.
Simona ignored him. She grabbed the next stone and raised her hand menacingly. Don't you dare come any closer!
I'm coming. Almost a moment.
It only took Moore a couple of seconds to grab his victim.
Gotcha.
The fuck? Like we're never capable to do shit. Simona knew exactly what awaited her. She clenched her jaw. I'd rather die by trying to escape here than being tortured there. Simona waited for the right moment, then stomped on Moore's foot as hard as she could. Moore's grip loosened, allowing her to break free and bolt away.
I could chase you forever, but we're needed somewhere.
Simona managed to reach a small house before Moore displayed his agility again. In one leap, he was right beside her. She clung to a dirty windowsill and tried to reach for the window, to knock on it, to break it, whatever. This time, the man didn't hesitate. Simona felt a heavy hand on her head and saw the dirty wall coming fast toward her face, and then everything faded. Great. I hate that they're creating stories where we're always this fucking victim. How come we're not capable to do shit? How come we always need to be saved by someone else? Like, just get something. I hate feeling helpless, y'all. That's why it actually gets on my goddamn nerves, storylines like this. I'm not helpless. Why do they always need to create like the storyline where we always are helpless? We're already helpless in general in our lives. Let us be powerful here. Now we're being tied up in order like to have some crazy bitch ass perform a ritual on us, and then we will have some bitch ass symbol be cut into our skin. Meanwhile, other people, I don't know, like open up our stomach in order like to get our organs out. I don't know. We remember what happened to the girl in the club. Wake up, sleepyhead. The gentle voice enveloped her in warmth, making her reluctant to open her eyes. Let her ask me again. Wake up. The voice started becoming louder and more demanding. Wake up, you brat, or you'll miss all the fun. Psst. Psst. I'm actually just stunned. Simona opened her eyes and immediately squeezed them shut again. The icy floor burned her skin, even through the thick fabric. Her body felt stiff and she had a splitting headache. How did I get myself into this mess? The room she had been thrown into looked like a church, but it was clearly not being used for its intended purpose. That's what untie me and let's talk man to man. A familiar voice made her look up toward the light. Damn, there you are, Harry. Simona had no time to feel guilty about finding him here. Her conscience was lost in a whirlwind of much stronger emotions at the moment. Harry was tied like a cattle by the arms and neck. He stood in the center of a symbol drawn in red paint on the ground. Or blood. Blood, girl. Blood. Oh, you awake? Wonderful. Mo picked her up by the scruff of her neck like a kitten. He placed her on the feet next to him. Her legs felt like jelly and she was dizzy. That's a hell of a punch he gave me. Franz walked next to Harry with a knife. Let the blood boil in his veins. Let the sea be troubled and wash away all the lines in your path, O great one, and never again shall it be calm. The fuck? Franz accompanied each sentence with long, deep cuts on Harry's body. Nice! Dark blood oozed from them. The man seemed to feel no fear. His eyes were clouded with rage, and each cut only seemed to fuel it. Let the fire all-consuming and greedy never go out. Let hearts and flesh burn in it. Y'all, I'm actually beginning to feel sick. Long live the new world, built on the ashes of the dried bones, and the faithful and unfaithful alike. Hooded figures approached Harry from both sides. They cut the ropes and forced him to kneel before the burning altar. Y'all, I'm about to, barf. Honestly. The entire situation is making me feel so uncomfortable. It's making me feel so many conflicting emotions. Simona was distracted by the bleeding, weakened Harry. She wasn't sure when or where Franz had gotten the long piece of iron that glowed red in his hands. He's branding him now, and then it's my turn. Did you know that his father killed his mother? He beat her to death over a glance at another man. The sudden revelation didn't stir much in Simona at the moment. She was more concerned about herself. Does he want to talk? Keep the conversation going. Almost instinctively, Simona glanced at Moore. She spoke in a voice that trembled with fear. How is that Harry's fault? Well, you think this is a punishment? It's an honor. His father's actions prepared the fertile ground, and now Harry's paying for his sins. What? And he's praying not to God, but to the whole world, to me, to you, to all of us. I don't understand what you mean.
Because you stupid rat, Simona, you were born for one purpose, to bleed yourself dry. That's all that's needed from you. Simona stared intently into the murderer's eyes. She did her best to ignore Harry's prolonged groans. I barely have a chance to distract him by talking. So why don't you do the honors yourself and stand in the circle instead of me? I think no one here would slit their throat for a higher purpose. Unfortunately, the beast needs you and Harry specifically.
What the fuck do they want from us? I don't get it. What the fuck could that beast want that they desperately have their followers pursuing us? Like, who the fuck is that fucking beast? Nah, I actually want to know now. I have no fucking regrets.
Just don't get too proud. You have no merit in this. The only thing outstanding about you is your father's blood, filled with his sins.
Simona turned away. She ground her teeth to keep from shaking so much. You have learned some useful information. If you survive, be sure to share it with MIKAEL. Nice, if you survive. Harry was curled up as if in his prayer. His head almost touched the floor. The acolytes pulled at his shoulders to expose his chest, but suddenly he straightened up on his own. He used something to slash the man standing to his right in the shin, then jumped to his feet. What? He knocked out the person standing to his left with a precise blow, then grabbed the wounded man and held a blade to his throat. Yeah, I have respect for Harry. Like, I was actually thinking this while the entire situation was going on, how they actually were describing that this man was being actually cut open. I was like, I wanted to save this man. That's why I let him go. Then he was captured, manipulated, hurt, tortured, and then also murdered. I did this to him. And this man, I actually have respect for him right now.
Don't come any closer. He managed to sneak in a weapon? Did he prepare for this?
Harry staggered like a drunk from the loss of blood. He pressed the acolyte against him with his last ounce of strength.
I'm leaving within.
Franz lowered the glowing iron and shrugged.
Go.
Judging by his carefree tone, Franz didn't believe in Harry's chance of getting out.
And Simona's coming with me. I don't think so.
Harry, please contact the people at Astrea. Call them as soon as you get a chance. Girl, by the time that he actually gets to them, you will be dead. Harry nodded and walked back toward the exit, his gaze fixed on the frozen acolyte. The two wounded men disappeared into the darkness of the archway, leaving trails of blood behind them. He can call for help, if he doesn't die of blood loss first. You managed to convince Harry to prepare for the attack. Now he has a chance of survive.
Well, let's not stop Harry from drenched our church with his blood. We'll pick up it later.
Several figures left the hall, slowly following the boxer, just like vultures waiting for a corpse.
Simona will have to enter the circle out of turn.
Moore wrapped his finger around Simona's delicate neck and wrapped her forward. Her feet slipped in the scarlet puddle, but the man's iron grip kept her from falling. Moore pushed her to her knees. He crouched beside her and drew a thin, elegant dagger. Nice. I can't die like this. Spit in his face. Now I spit in his face, bitch. Burn in hell, Moore. Still smiling, the man wiped his face with the back of his hand.
I'll gladly meet you there again and continue our games. Oh, he's such a bitch.
They didn't bother to tie her up like Harry. Franz stood beside her and Moore. He gently ran his hand over the head of his new victim. Simona shook her head to dislodge his hand. She almost growled. Don't touch me! Franz ignored her words as if she were not a human but an animal. He spoke.
Compel and command, O Great One. Let the whole world kneel before you, and those who do not submit to you shall become dust beneath your feet.
Honestly, I don't even want to continue this. The words were clearly different from the ones Franz had spoken when he'd cut Harry, but Simona didn't listen any further. As soon as the knife touched her cheek, all words lost their meaning. The only feeling left in the world was pain. The acolyte held her down on her knees. They gripped her hands tightly and pulled them to the side to give more and more room to work.
Come to us, sit at our table, taste our flesh, drink our blood.
Blood oozed from the small cuts, mixing with the blood Harry had left behind. Mora made no attempt to hide his pleasure. He genuinely enjoyed the process, wielding the dagger like a paint brush. The blade went deep into her wrist, then slowly rose up her forearm, slicing through her veins. Simona moaned in pain and trembled, then lost all feelings in her right arm. Come on, continue. Come on, let's go. Why not? Like, just kill us. What kind of story is this? I don't know if I want to continue. Like, because this has nothing to do with the storyline. The storyline is good, but I hate being in a situation where I'm hopeless. I hate feeling hopeless. It gets on my goddamn nerves. And it's one of my biggest fears, actually. To find myself in a situation where I'm hopeless. Or more like helpless. Where I can't help myself nor the people I care about. God. Simona was both mentally and physically exhausted. She looked around the hall with a hazy gaze. She wanted more than anything to be somewhere else for a moment away from here. At least not to die here, not surrounded by these monsters to whom I'm nothing but a piece of meat. Simona closed her eyes and thought of MIKAEL, Raphael, Felonia, another would-be Malik. I want to see David, honestly, because the last conversation we had with him was him saying that he will always protect us. And that would be what I would be thinking about. Simona mentally sat down at the bar and reached out with her bloodstained hand. Without asking anything, David placed a glass of whiskey in front of her. Her fingers would not obey. Her severed nerves prevented her from gripping the glass firmly. David helped her and brought the glass to her parched lips.
We'll kill them all, little witch. Just wait for us, please.
As you face death, you think of David. This is more important than any confession. This is also stupid. Franz approached the altar and prepared the metal for the branding. Her heart, already pounding from what was happening, beat even harder, her tongue dry as sandpaper. Why can't I just pass out? Her head spun harder, blending the background at the acolytes into a blur mess. Only Moore's bloodthirsty eyes flickered in front of her face remained clear. His final incision to her neck seemed fatal. The world around her finally began to fall into darkness. But through the encroaching salvation of darkness, light unexpectedly broke through. Simona blinked and stared up at the source of the strange glow on the ceiling. What the heck? Not us being on the ground like that. The fuck? Path of skepticism. I don't see anything. It was impossible to hide from the extremely bright glow. It even seemed through her eyelids, causing searing pain. Simona wanted to break free and cover her eyes with her hands, but her mutilated limbs were unresponsive to her brain's impulses. Why did they turn on such a bright light? But she wasn't the only one pondering this question. Everyone present suddenly lost interest in their victim and looked upward. Without the support of the acolyte's firm grip, Simona collapsed listless on her side. She lay in a pool of blood, hers and Harry's, and stared unblinkingly into the source of light. Now she only dreamed of one thing, death and a swift release from the unbearable pain. Simona no longer saw what was happening around her. One of the acolytes recoiled, but most of them froze and looked at each other in fear. No one understood what was happening until Moore finally spoke.
The beast has come to us.
The fuck is going on? Everyone in the hall simultaneously fell to their knees and raised their hands to the ceiling.
We've been waiting for you. Waiting for so long. We have been preparing your new kingdom for your arrival. Dirty Spanish creatures.
A familiar voice brought Simona back to reality. Is it Raphael?
This is... Your place is in the darkness you so eagerly seek.
Simona stared in disbelief at Raphael over and high above them. What? That's why he can sense death. Because he is the one that says who he needs dead. His outstretched hand trembled. He was shaking all over with barely contained rage. I mean, we also chose, like, the romantic options with him. Simona could have sworn that amidst the white light, she could see wings behind his back.
So look upon the light you refused for the last time and live in darkness.
Oh my god! Even my eyes! The glow around Raphael intensified, pulsing at the tips of his fingers. The acolytes realized that it wasn't their forgiving God who had appeared them. They held out their arms more forcefully. They wailed! Now real prayers rang out within the walls of the church. It turned out that the heretics knew them after all, but Raphael didn't hear them.
Let the hell you see come to you.
Period. The radiance flickered one last time, then it burst like a bubble, flooding the entire church. Simona squinted, drowning in the screams and pleas that filled the room. Bye, bitches. Hope to never see you again. It felt like she was screaming too, but it all merged into a cacophony.
Simona.
The voice thundered in her head, forcing her to come to her senses. How can we come to our senses? We're bleeding out, bitch! Simona opened her eyes wide. She felt an unbearable heat. The light had turned into a red flame that engulfed the church. The acolytes cried and screamed as they tried to escape the fire, but they couldn't find a way out. Oh, I'm enjoying this. The eyes of the people leaked out, their faces adorned with terrible burns. In a single second, the room turned into a veritable hell on earth. People with empty eye sockets stumbled over each other. They're all blinded. As they should. Simona whimpered softly in horror. She closed her eyes again and tried to cover her ears, but she couldn't. Her sense of reason refused to comprehend that was happening. It slowly drifted away along with the remnants of blood that still seeped from her wounds. Like, that's so fucking stupid. Like, distracting everyone else. I'm still dying. Finally, just as she was about to lose her sanity, her mind had mercy on her. It allowed her to sink into darkness. Bye. Leaving the burning village and its inhabitants behind, Raphael ascended into the sky. He held Simona close to him. He's a fucking angel.
Just don't die, do you hear me?
Too late for that.
We'll be home soon.
Too late for that. Fucking hell. Y'all, he's a demon. Alright. He's a fucking demon. He came in there to save the day. Nah, Raphael is actually... He added to my temptation, but I feel like David is like the one I'm gonna go for, just because I feel like he is using his capabilities more for like good. No, I'm not saying that MIKAEL is a bad person. I'm just saying he is using his capability of talking in order to like subtly manipulate people to his own advantage. As in order to harm people at the end of the day. I know that they were trying to protect everyone, but the way that they were actually willing to hurt someone and not actually be willing to like allow someone to make a decision for themselves is something I didn't like. Now I understand why they were trying to hide it so much, like they needed him back because they wanted to save him, they wanted to protect him, and they wanted to protect and save us too. But if you actually know that something awful is about to happen, you should have actually involved us. Like, if they would have fessed up, then we would have felt a little more inclined. I just feel like I feel more alive or more happy with David because he's actually capable, like, to let loose and to let us in on how he's truly feeling. Of course, we don't know who he truly is just yet, but he showed where his priorities lie. He showed that he truly worries, and he's letting, like, his real inner self slip through. Not him just being the party guy, and him being happy all the damn time, having the opportunity to flirt with everything and everyone, like using his social skills in order like to get under people's skin. No, he truly worries. He has a soft core, and he's willing to actually open up and to be someone's soft comfort zone. That's rare. And MIKAEL honestly reminds me of like a dad figure. He beats the shit out of you and then he's worried afterwards if he should have hurt you in the process. Because that's the love he like has for you. This like this unconditional love. Well, let me know what you all think about the entire situation. I'm blown away. Let's see what next episode will be like. Hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.